Hi there, I'm Ageless for Everlast Nutrition, and in this video I want to talk about the best tip for anti-aging and for beating up father time. It seems like right around the time we hit 30 or so, we begin to wish that we can hop right into a DeLorean, speed up to 88 miles an hour, and then head right back in time. I don't know why, but somewhere around our 30s it seems to really hit us. Yet it's a natural part of life. We're all going to get older. It is something that we all have in common. Yet how we're going to age may vary greatly, depending on what type of lifestyle that we implement. Many people associate getting older with poor health, frailty, or disease. Yet in this video, I'm going to show you that it doesn't have to be that way. So what can you do to keep yourself as youthful as possible? Well, eating better is always a great start, because definitely maintaining a healthy weight and a healthy diet can only help. Also, you want to keep learning and keep your mind as active as possible. And perhaps you can limit your exposure to the harmful UV rays of the sun. And also, it might be a good idea to keep your stress to a minimum and to try and get a good night's sleep each and every night. Now, I don't suggest these things, but many people will try and take it a step further. And there is a multi-billion-dollar industry out there devoted specifically to anti-aging. And some people take a ton of pills each and every day, and that's part of their daily regimen. It seems like every other advertisement on TV advocates some sort of expensive makeup, or some expensive creams or other cosmetics, or perhaps even some sort of face mask. And again, you see this all the time. There's literally tons of commercials on TV. Then there's also stuff like getting Botox or laser skin procedures to help get rid of the wrinkles. And even on top of that, many people will opt for full-blown surgery, like a facelift or something. But you're gonna see that the most effective thing you can do is nowhere near this dramatic. You guys have seen me in all of these videos, and in some of them I'm doing some pretty cool stuff. Like sometimes I'm lifting some heavier weights, or sometimes I'm doing some intense cardio. And a common question that I get is, how old are you? Well, my wife would tell you that I usually act like I'm 15, but I was born in 1976, and so I'm going to be 42. And as for anti-aging, I don't really do any of the previous stuff, and maybe I should. Like, I could definitely eat better, and I could reduce stress, and I could definitely sleep better. And I've also spent a big part of my life outdoors in the sun, and I'm embarrassed to say that I never wore sunscreen. But I do something that is more valuable to anti-aging than any of those previous things combined. The first time I think that I really noticed I was getting older, I think I was around somewhere in my early 30s, and I tried to climb this particular fence. Now, when I was younger, I was up and over this fence in a flash, and that never really seemed impressive to me. But I hadn't done it in years, and then sometime in my early 30s, I had to climb over it to get something on the other side. And when I got to the top of the fence, I was like, whoa. I was shaking and unsteady and uncertain. And it was at that point, right there on top of that fence, that I felt older for the first time. And in all of my videos, I like to tackle the question of why. So why was I having all of this trouble at the top of the fence? Was it really because I was older? Was it simply age robbing me of my Spider-Man fence climbing ability? Or was it because somewhere along the line, I had simply stopped climbing fences? So is that age-old saying really true? If you don't use it, you lose it. And as I thought about it, I discovered that that really was the real secret to fighting Father Time. Don't ever stop. You gotta just keep moving. There's that old saying that a rolling stone gathers no moss. And I guess like Keith Richards, rolling stones don't age like the rest of us either. And to give you a real life example of this anti-aging tip, I'm going to spar a few rounds with my friend Guy at Grant Brothers Boxing Gym. And I'm gonna leave a link to their website in the description below. Now quickly, if you want, Google which sport is the most physically demanding on the human body. And boxing usually tops that list. Boxing also takes speed, power, endurance, and reflexes. All of the things they say leave you as you age. Now just take a look at Guy. Just take a look at him here and look at how he moves. He's still quick, he still has power in his punches, and he's still sparring. So how old would you say he was? 50 or 60? Well, he looks great for 60, right? I mean, for 60, he looks awesome. But he's in his 80s and he's still moving with power. As I'm 210 pounds here and he's still moving me around. So what's his secret? Well, it wasn't pills or creams or surgery. Nope, not at all. The problem with all of that stuff is that it's only superficial. So you go and you get Botox or laser or perhaps plastic surgery. And then maybe you look fantastic in your Facebook profile. But I guarantee you that people will still tell your age the second you begin to move. Because if that's all you've done, chances are when you move, you still look frail, and you look tired. Whereas Guy here doesn't at all. That's because what he does do is way more effective than just topical cream or a surgical facelift. What he does not only makes him look younger, but actually keeps him younger. And his secret isn't super complicated. It's the same one as my own. What he does is he does something active each and every day. He always has. Remember that whole climbing the fence thing? Well, Guy just never stopped climbing. He never stopped moving. When he was young, he was in the armed forces. And then for years, he was a competitive judo player. And now he still trains with weights and he boxes. And he pretty much does anything he feels like doing because he still can. Let me just put into perspective how awesome Guy is. Not only is he the nicest guy that you're ever gonna meet and everybody loves him, but he's just in phenomenal shape, regardless of his age. Now, I go to a pretty big gym in Montreal, and a few years ago they had a bench press competition. Now, I thought that I would be a lock for this competition because I'm usually pretty strong for my weight. And depending on what I weigh at the time, between 200 and even 225 pounds, let's say, I'm usually good for 30 reps of my body weight. And that's for a full range of the lift, from chest to a lockout. And I didn't think that too many people would be able to best that. But my schedule at the time didn't permit me to enter the competition. And a few days later, I had heard that Guy won. And honestly, I wasn't surprised. He did his own body weight, which was around 170 pounds at the time, for 40 reps. I'm half his age and I still can't do my body weight for 40 reps. And so when I saw him, I had to shake his hand and say that was just amazingly awesome. The best tip that you're ever going to get for anti-aging is to simply never stop. If right now you play tennis and you like playing tennis, then don't stop. If you like going for long hikes or long walks, then don't stop. I like boxing and I don't plan on stopping. Now, there's no doubt sometimes due to your health situation, you may need to alter your training, but just never completely stop, because that's when the rust begins to set in. So if you think that the only way to fight anti-aging is with something super drastic like some sort of surgery, just stop for a second and first take an audit of your daily physical activity, and then find something that you like to do. Now, it doesn't have to be what I like to do, but something that you like to do that's moderately intense, and then try and do that at least every other day, and just never stop. If you don't use it, you're gonna lose it, and I don't ever want to lose it. And with any luck, I want to be just like Guy. I want to be in my 80s and still able to do anything that I feel like doing. And at 80 years old, you still just might catch me climbing a fence. This has been Mike Gales for Everlast Nutrition, and if you like these videos, then please click below to like and subscribe, as we're constantly posting up great tips and new ideas, and they're all meant to get you into the greatest shape possible.